What's up, guys? Remington Keyes here. Welcome to the Nerd Talk podcast, nerdy talk for nerdy fans. We got a special guest on the show today. We got Erod, the Blockbuster Buster.
Hello, 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 hello.
We all our co-hosts are homesick today, so it's just gonna be me doing a one-on-one interview.
I'm Erod, I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and I am a content creator on the internet. I, for the most part, am known for producing a review series that is half review series, half storyline, partially skits and jokes. And I do all my reviews in character, usually voicing the negativity that fans may have towards those particular films. They're usually based on the cartoons, comics, video games, and books that they love.
And I would say, when I've been a fan for a long time. At first, you were kind of just like the Nostalgia Critic, but as you've grown, you've gotten your own kind of style, and I really like that about you. That you kind of grew and doing your own kind of thing, and you kind of have your own, like, you've always had your own voice, but now you're kind of like your own separate entity away from other things, and like your own separate property almost, and I really like that. Almost like how Linkara is another one that everybody was kind of doing that same kind of thing, and now everybody's kind of evolved into doing their own separate thing, which is pretty cool. I really enjoy that. Our first question, what attracted you to begin a career as a film critic or film reviewer?
Well, what happened to me is that I was in film school at the time when I became aware of this genre of entertainment, and I'd worked really hard to get into film school, and I was under the impression that once I got in, all these ideas, all this creativity that I had built up inside of me, I was going to be able to express it. But it was actually the opposite of that. It was just a lot of people telling me how to make my movies, as opposed to just teaching me how to make movies. And I just, while I was in film school, making the movies however I wanted. And I understand that they were just trying to prepare me for the film business. Yeah. Usually that's how it works when you get into bed with a studio. Everybody wants to put their fingerprints on your project, and so they can say, hey, I came up with that. Hey, I worked on that. And I get it. I get that they were trying to prepare me for that, but it was a huge letdown. And I was in a very bad place emotionally. And then I discovered these funny review videos, or angry reviews on the internet, as they call them now, video reviews, mostly by James Rolfe. And James Rolfe was the one that introduced me to all this, the angry video game nerd. And so I'm in film school. I have unlimited resources at my disposal, and I'm daydreaming all the time about doing cheap-ass video reviews on the internet. The grass is always greener. Anyway, yeah. So this was something that was just in the back of my brain all the time. And so after I got done with film school and I moved to LA, with promises of work, everybody that had promised me work suddenly had nothing for me. And I was stuck in LA with nothing to do, so I needed a distraction of some kind to stop me from falling into a deep depression. So I just started making the videos. I just threw caution to the wind. And as you mentioned earlier, yeah, my original videos were similar to the Nostalgia Critic because I honestly didn't care about being too original. I just wanted to make the videos for fun.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I also had that fictional campaign where I was trying to get into Channel Awesome.
Yeah.
But that just grew on its own. That became an entity on its own. So then when I made the decision that I wanted to be part of the website, I already had all this momentum behind me. So that's basically how it happened. It was like, it started as a daydream, and then it became something to just help me emotionally while I was going through this difficult time in my career. Yeah. And then it just snowballed. It just became this huge thing that I was suddenly in the middle of. And for 3 years, being the Blockbuster Buster was my job, which was so bizarre. but I would never intended it to be that. It was just a fun hobby. I just wanted a fun hobby. That's it.
There's a few things that you mentioned that I'd like to add on because that's how I found you was those videos about the campaign of being on Channel Awesome. That's how I originally found your videos, and then I became so quickly obsessed with watching your videos because they were just so good, and it kind of got me back into watching Channel Awesome and finding Linkara again and finding Doug Walker and finding all those videos. It got me back into watching those kind of videos because I kind of fallen off for a little bit, and the whole thing about the film school being in L.A. I went to film school as well, and that's the main reason why I didn't go into L.A. is because I thought I was gonna be pulled into that kind of there's no work here, and I've actually had a better career as a filmmaker doing it from home than I have as going out to L.A. and wasting all the money and all that. So I know where you're coming from, you know.
Yeah, my friend Melanie, she moved all the way out there, and then she came back home to Atlanta, and it was right around the time when they started filming the Marvel movies there. She's working on that, and she's still working on that right now.
Yeah,
I just posted a picture of her working on Black Panther. So, like you said, you know, you can be a filmmaker wherever you are. LA is just the most film-friendly town.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. But no, there is no excuse not to pursue your passion.
Exactly. Next question. What has been the greatest accomplishment as a film critic or as the Blockbuster Buster?
I think just the opportunity to work with really amazing people that I never would have had access to before.
Yeah.
First person I want to name right off the bat is, of course, Linkara. He is exactly the guy that you believe him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're skeptical or jaded or just somebody who doesn't believe in good people, he will prove you wrong because he really is that kind of a person, that good of a person. And when I pitched him the idea of doing our first crossover, he didn't know me from Adam, you know, and I didn't send him a script, nothing. I just sent him a pitch, as professional as I could put it together, and he just agreed to it. He agreed to it without reading the script, nothing, and barely knowing me. And because he hadn't read the script, you know, he showed up to film the crossover just completely trusting me, not knowing what I was going to ask him to do.
Yeah.
Which is a major tribute to his character and who he is. And even more bizarre one, in a video, I got to direct Doug Jones.
Oh, wow.
Who played Amphibian Man in the Oscar-winning movie, The Shape of Water. Academy Award represented actor that was an Academy Award-winning movie said my words and took my direction.
That's so awesome.
In one of the most bizarre moments of my life. My friend Paul was making a movie called Rock Jocks, and he was playing an alien in it.
Yeah.
And as a joke, as a complete joke, my friend Paul told him, "Hey, Erod's getting married. Send him a blessing on this video."
Yeah.
I had been married for quite some time already, but he did it so I would have a video of one of my favorite actors, saying nice things about me, and it was just a quick joke, and it was very touching. And at the end of the video, he says, "Hey, anytime you want to collaborate, anytime you want to do anything, just say the word." And I laughed it off and never thought about it again. And then a video came around where I came up with a gag involving him. And again, just like Linkara, I just pitched it to him.
Yeah.
Not, completely under the impression that he was going to be too busy. There was no way. And I think the most important recurring theme in these stories that I'm telling you is that I approached each pitch, I approached each person professionally.
Yeah.
I sent them a detailed message as far as what my intentions were, what my plan was, what I needed them to do. And lo and behold, he responded immediately and said yes. And a week later, I was directing him over Skype, and then I had his footage, and he's in my Rocky and Bullwinkle episode, for Pete's sake. So stuff like that, where I never thought those opportunities would come up. Like I said, this started as a hobby to maintain my sanity, and it just opened the doors to all these weird interactions with people. And of course, the biggest one, which wasn't quite as direct, but my top 10 Bruce Campbell characters video was seen by Bruce Campbell. He tweeted about it, and then the video was posted on his website for a month.
Oh, wow.
So my favorite actor, my hero, saw my work, liked it. Granted, it was just a massive, 40 minutes of kissing his ass.
Yeah.
But liked it and, thought it was good enough to share on his personal website. So that was awesome, because a lot of people have made tribute videos for Bruce Campbell, but they've never been posted on his website.
Yeah.
So yeah, just those strange interactions of people randomly coming up, the person you least expect, saying, "Hey, I like what you did." I don't even like what I do, so that just always catches me off guard. Yeah, I've never satisfied with my work and my videos, never. That's why I'm always pushing to make them bigger and crazier, more elaborate. I'm the king of overkill. But for example, just recently, I did one of the reviews for the Tick live action series.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And Townsend Coleman sent me an email about it, the voice of the Tick.
That's crazy.
Again, that blew my socks off. And part of the email was to correct me on a fact that I got wrong, but most of the email was just praising me for, knowing so much about the show and how appreciative he was that somebody cared so much about his work.
Well, that's why I often wonder why isn't the Blockbuster Buster bigger? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no reason why it shouldn't have blown up.
I don't know. It could have been Channel Awesome. I don't know.
I personally blame YouTube, because the way YouTube's algorithm is, they like to promote people like Jake Paul, but the people who are actually putting effort and good work into their videos, they go, "Oh, we're gonna push them to the side because it's not Jake Paul." You know what I mean? And they've done it with other content creators like Smosh. And do you remember Fred, when Fred was huge on YouTube? Or were you?
Yes, I don't.
That was one of the first people to hit 1 million subscribers, and all it was a teenager screaming into the camera, acting like a 5-year-old. And YouTube promoted the hell out of him. And that was in the early days, 2007, 2006 YouTube. But I mean, YouTube's always tended to promote these annoying people instead of the people who are actually putting effort into their work. I have to blame YouTube for those kind of things,
Well, we'll see. Now the scales are shifting and doors are opening, so we'll find out. The only thing I can do on my side is try to do the best work possible. That's all I can do. But I can't control YouTube. I can't control the viewers. I can't control the amount of views that I get. But the one thing that I know for sure is that while I don't have as many fans as the likes of Fred, I guess, whoever that is, the fans that I do have are insanely loyal. I have people that have been my fans from the very beginning, when I was only 10 people. And I know so because they'll quote conversations that we had either through email or through the comment section on one of my YouTube videos. So I know this was one of the persons from the beginning. So, people always think that I either collect DVDs or action figures. No, what I collect is good people. And I've managed to collect a lot of good fans throughout the years. And they're still with me. And so I know that whoever gets hooked in the coming year, now that I'm suddenly reaching a larger audience due to the whole hashtag change the channel debacle, those people will stick around, because that's what I bring to the table. That's my true talent, is breeding loyalty.
Exactly. That's very well put. Have you ever had trouble with a director because of one of your reviews? Has he made it difficult? How did you interact with that kind of person if you've had that kind of situation?
You greatly overestimate my popularity. Most I've never had any filmmaker approach me negatively. The closest was the example that I brought up early, where Townsend Coleman sent me an email. Hey, you got one detail wrong, and he gave me the real story. And that's it. And he did it in the most polite, diplomatic fashion imaginable. The only time that I've ever interacted with an actual director of a movie that I reviewed was a positive interaction. It was, I believe, Hilarion Banks that directed the independent Casey Jones movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's excellent, and I just wanted to make sure that he was aware that I was doing that review and that it was okay, because it's different. It's different when it's a labor of love. You know, he worked on that movie, I believe, 5 years for free, and it's because he just wanted to do it, as opposed to somebody who cashes a big fat paycheck, you know, $10, $20 million, you know, to sit in a director's chair and, you know, tell Samuel L. Jackson what camera to look into. That's different. That person can dry his tears with his money, and lay down to sleep at night next to his supermodel wife. That person has no reason to complain or berate me for being a complete goofball on the internet and riffing on his movie. Also, very important, I think it would be very sad and unprofessional for somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if somebody were to make fun of me, that's fine. I would never send him an email or a tweet or something, or a message of some kind like, oh, you don't have the right to do that. I don't believe that you should tell a joke if you can't take a joke.
Yeah.
And for the love of Christ, I make fun of things for a living. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the job. Riffing on things. So I am completely open to self-deprecating humor. Anytime any fan has ever sent me a message, oh my God, this other YouTuber said something about you, this other content creator said, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. It's water off my back. It's nothing. It's no big deal. If anything, they're giving me free exposure. So I would just think, it would be really sad if a famous, highly paid director were to get bent out of shape over a YouTube video or a guy's just screaming obscenities at a camera. And also, it would just make that person look bad. It would be ammunition for me. It would be more material for me, more content for me to create based on that whole situation. They'd be doing me a favor. So no, I wouldn't even apologize if somebody got, if anything, I would hope they would respond in a creative way, and make fun of me, do some kind of a parody video, something, but contacting me instead, telling me that I'm wrong and to go to hell. And,
well, I've heard some horror stories on the internet,
not to deliver my, remember, these are all scripted videos. Yeah. It's not even my real opinion. So, again, they would be getting bent out of shape over nothing.
Yeah.
So, they would just be looking foolish. I would just not respond and just keep going and just let them pick up their own shovel and bury themselves, because that's all they would be doing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Next question. Have you had a chance to work with a diverse group of people being a film critic as the Blockbuster Buster? Have you been able to have a chance to work with a bunch of...
Yes, I have. It's another thing that was crazy is that right when I started on Channel Awesome, I was immediately contacted by Eugenia Joyuen, who offered to do my title cards for free.
Yeah.
I refused to let her do it for free. I, of course, accepted her help, but I refused to let her work without payment, and I quickly explained that that's not the way show business works. You don't give away your talents for free.
Yeah.
And so first we just started a professional relationship, and her doing my title cards, and then it got to the point where I couldn't pay her, and she stuck around, man. And it's been like 5 years, and she still helps me. She still works with me. Even through periods where I really cannot pay her.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. And the point of me bringing her up is that she lives in Peru.
Wow.
Like somebody that I would never meet, would never run into, have no physical access to, that I hope to one day meet in person. Because she has done so much. She took over running my Facebook fan page without me asking her to. The person that was doing it gave up on it and walked away. And I just happened to have all the admin information. And she said, hey, I'll run your Facebook for you. And I was like, okay, here's the information. And she's been doing it ever since for free, just because she wanted to. Again, breeding loyalty.
That's a loyal fan right there.
That's the people that I work with, the people that are loyal. And so she was the first person to step up and said, hey, do you need help? I'll do anything. And then came Billy Joe, who, after I did my 100th episode, which was not well received, that was 3 weeks of eating a shit sandwich from the fans, from the viewers, I should say. Yeah. And Billy Joe took that episode and just redid it and added special effects to it and sent it back to me and said, this is what I can do for you. Wow. And I was like, all right, you're hired. Let's do this. And he's been my special effects man and Dr. Effect ever since.
Yeah.
And just recently, I was invited to Tallahassee Comic Con, and a friend of my wife named Ashley Metcalf offered to just help me out, just to be my wing woman throughout the convention. You know, just help me out. You know, and just with the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
interaction with the fans you always need.
And trying to run the little booth.
I'm sorry?
I said, so like taking payments and running the booth or something.
Stuff like that, you know, just the stuff that I couldn't do for myself because of, you know, the interactions with the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't abandon them. You don't want to turn your back on them, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I get it.
And I had never been to a convention before. I didn't know what I was doing, and she just kind of walked me through it. And just didn't let anybody take advantage of me. It was just a great experience, but it was mostly due to her stepping up and helping, and now she continuously offers to help with the Blockbuster Buster in any way she can. And this is a person that's not a filmmaker, not a critic, and nothing like that. Just a friend of the family's that just suddenly just stepped up and is just offering to help in any way she can. So yeah, and so Eugenia's in Peru, Billy Joe's in Boston, in Massachusetts, you know? Just all over the place, all over the globe. If you look at the behind-the-scenes pictures from Blockbuster Buster 2.0, we had people from everywhere. You know, my producer was from Egypt. My production designer's Italian. My best friend Paul's from Thailand. So it's a multicultural world, and it's definitely represented in my crew.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, I want to go. One of these days, I'm going to go down to Florida and do one of those conventions. If I see you down there as a guest, I'll definitely go. I go to conventions at least once a month doing this. Our podcast, we do. We like to film our episodes at the convention, doing the panels and stuff. So we're always going around traveling. So
just demand that they'll invite me, and they will. I'm a local boy, so.
Do you think honesty is always the best policy when it comes to reviewing things, even if the opinion isn't popular?
Okay. Edgar Allan Poe.
Yep.
For a story to work, it has to be entertaining, but it also has to have some truth to it. Okay?
Yes.
So, if these videos, you know, whether I'm doing a storyline or whether it's just a review portion of it, if the foundation of it isn't some form of truth, then it won't work.
Yeah.
Okay? It's inconsequential whether or not people will agree with me or not. Okay? If what I'm talking about comes from a very real place, people will immediately become attached to that and be able to relate to it. If I'm faking the affection, if I'm faking the anger, people will instantly know and be turned off by it. Oh, this guy's just acting.
Yeah.
That's not real. Yes, my character is fictional. Yes, the character's opinions are really over the top and goofy and extreme, as opposed to my usually very calm, chill demeanor. But I don't ever make a video if I don't have anything to say on the subject matter. Okay? So that's my basis of truth. It always comes from a real place. And if you want further proof of that, all of my most successful videos have been on a subject that I was very passionate about. Yeah. Whether I was angry or happy about it, I was very passionate about it, and it came through the video. The Transformers episodes, my first ever Doctor Who Honest review that I ever did, the 11 Doctors, my Bruce Campbell video. I did this really cheap, cheesy, very short video on the top 10 reasons Aquaman was awesome.
Yeah.
That's over like gangbusters. Like, people were watching that and sharing it like crazy because it came from a very real place. It came from, 30 years of my life of people making fun of Aquaman and me having to explain why this character was worth being a fan of.
Yeah, exactly.
It came from a very real place, and I just put that in a video. I turned my, character dial all the way up to 11. Yeah, it goes up to 11. And just let her rip, and just basically said the same speech that I've been delivering for 30 years, but I put it in a video, and I did it in character. That's all I did. But it started with truth. So you can go ahead and agree with whatever the hell the most popular opinion is, if you want to, and you'll probably get a lot of thumbs up on your video. A lot more thumbs up than you're going to get thumbs down, right? Will you grow a fandom? Absolutely not. You will not grow a fandom. People can tell when you're faking it. You cannot fake it with the fans. It's like wrestling. When a wrestler goes out there and he is not passionate about the match, he's not feeling it, the fans are not into it either.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. If you're not into the performance, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not feeling it, it won't go through. It will not be appealing to the viewers.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll say one of the movies that I've reviewed and positively loved that everybody didn't like, because it was Fantastic Four. I like the newest Fantastic Four movie, but it's an unpopular opinion of me liking it. But like you said, I'm passionate about liking it, and it comes through,
But I think also what would help you as far as producing a video or anything on that subject is the fact that everybody else, including myself, has been hating on it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing the complete opposite. So right there, again, you're proving my point just by voicing your own opinion, which just so happens to be the opposite of everybody else's. You're standing out from literally everyone who's ever made a video about that movie.
Exactly.
And somebody who's already seen 5 hate videos on Josh Trank's Fantastic Four is going to see yours. Wait a minute. One guy liked it? I got to see this. You know what I mean? So it's just the fact that just by going in your own way, you're going to stand out. I'm going to use another wrestling example. Here we go. all my examples are wrestling today. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mom told him that he was never going to make it as a wrestler wearing black trunks and black boots. But guess what? Everybody else in the locker room at the time had flashy, neon, colorful tights.
Yeah.
So by him wearing black trunks and black boots, he stood out, ironically, and became the biggest star in the wrestling world in the 90s.
Exactly. Everybody knows who Steve Austin is.
It's so, yes, it pays to be honest, and it pays to just do your own thing. And, you were talking about earlier how initially I was very similar to Nostalgia Critic, and then I kind of started to stand out as my own character, and so on and so on. It all comes from me just giving the character my own spin based on my own thoughts and my own opinions that I know nobody else will have.
Yeah.
And so I agree with people all you want, but if you want to succeed, just do your best, do your own thing, and voice your own opinion, because your own opinion is going to be 100% different than anybody else's.
Exactly.
New episodes will be posted on dailymotion.com/Blockbuster Buster. dailymotion.com/Blockbuster Buster. If you're overseas and Dailymotion doesn't work for you, first of all, I apologize. That sucks. They need to fix that.
Yes.
Secondly, the episodes will be posted a month later on YouTube for you overseas fans, okay? If that's not enough Blockbuster Buster for you, because of this whole Channel Awesome debacle and the fact that I missed out on it and I wasn't aware of it ahead of time, I am trying to do social media a hell of a lot more than I used to, okay? So if that's not enough Blockbuster Buster content, go to my Twitter page. I at least try to put one positive, funny tweet every day to entertain people, at least once a day, every day. And you can follow me on Twitter at @BBusterBuster. @BBusterBuster. So there you go.
And what about your Patreon? Don't forget the Patreon.
Patreon, become a Patreon right now so you can help produce Blockbuster Buster Season 8. Just go to patreon.com/erod, pledge $1. That's it. You're a patron. You're a member of the Legion of Badassitude. You get free bonus videos from me that you can't see anywhere else but on the Patreon page. And that's it. All you have to do is pledge $1. You're a patron. You're helping me out, and you get free content and free shirts.
Thank you again for being on the podcast.
And anybody who emails me or tweets at me, I don't have a problem responding to them unless they are belligerent. Okay? It is not beneath me to talk to my fans. I literally helped a British fan figure out how to find a specific brand of ice cream at Walmart when he comes to the United States for his vacation. Because he was a fan and needed my help.
Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I've been your host, Remington Keyes, signing out. See you guys in the next podcast.